Congratulations on the launch of Saturdays. Now, I know from talking to some of the cast, this has been over 3 years in the works. I was wondering if you can tell me a little bit about the timeline of how you got involved and how the show has kind of changed over the years. I know at one point a pilot was done in New Orleans, but the final show is filmed in Chicago.
Yeah, well, initially, I think it was like 2020.
Yeah.
We may have started and we got ordered to pilot. And so, yeah, we shot it in New Orleans. And, by the time Disney picked it up, it was a pretty good pilot. And by the time they picked it up, our girls they had grown. So they blossomed. So it was like, okay, we're gonna have to shoot this over. So that's so from there we were able to instead of New Orleans, get to Chicago and shoot it there. And the rest is history. That's kind of the trajectory of how it started. But it started in New Orleans. But yeah, our girls, they're forever growing. And, we were like, okay, this is not going to work like it is. So yeah, we had to just redo it.
Marsai, was this ever a project that you were considering being a part of on camera? Or for you, was this always something that you wanted to just be in the background, helping make things happen?
Actually, no, I did not want, in the best way possible. I was like, I did not want to be a part of this. I just want to help in the best way I can to make this the way I would enjoy watching it. And yeah, I mean, that was that. I have this thing in Genius back when we were in the process of creating it and building Saturdays. I was more on the film side and focusing on films and being a part of that because I just got off of a 8-year-long TV show. So I was like, you know what? I would love to highlight young talent and just be able to watch our young Black girls grow in a space where it's an amazing environment to be in on and offset. And I applaud that. And I think we did really well with forming an amazing cast and an amazing crew to be able to build something that is amazing and hopefully have lots of impact around the world.
And I'd like to talk a little bit about the beginning of this journey for you, the audition process, meeting each other, and building this tight-knit friendship that we see on screen.
For my character, I auditioned for Paris at the end of 2020, and I found out that I was going to be Paris the beginning of 2021, and it was so surreal. I was jumping up and down. I fell down the stairs, actually, because I was just running around so excited. I was crying. And then we started doing skate rehearsals and practicing with each other, and we started finally filming the series in 2022, and that was amazing. More skate practice and being able to be together on set all the time, especially with our training. We really got to know each other, and I feel like I built really special bonds with people on set, and I feel like I'm going to carry that with me forever, and it was so much fun. So that's my journey.
Mine's when I first auditioned for Simone, let's just say Simone was a little bit different from how she is now in the series. She had glasses and braces and different types of hair, and now I sort of made her bohemian chic, and I made her a little bit of feel of me. So I sort of reinvented Simone a little bit, and I tried to make her unique and really cute and lovely and how I saw her. And she fits perfectly with the Weeby Girls. But overall, it was a journey to get to where we are now. And I'm just so glad that we're finally here, that the show is coming out. From shooting the pilot in New Orleans to filming the series in Chicago. The show took us to amazing places and with so many great people as far as our cast and crew. It's been an amazing experience thus far. And I know hopefully season 2 will be dope.
Daria mentioned the pilot. I was not in the pilot, but I did get picked up when they started filming season 1, which was a blessing in itself. I started auditioning for the show, I want to say it was 2021. No, what is this? What are we, 2023? Yes, it was 2021. I started auditioning for that in like December, and then I found out I booked it the second month in 2022. And then we got all this stuff. We went to Chicago. I'd never been upstate, left everything the middle of freshman year, and we started skating. We started filming, and it was the best experience ever. And now we're here. Hi.
Now, that's really cool that you two were friends before this. Can you talk a little bit about the audition process? Did you know you were both auditioning for the same show and potentially aligning to be best friends on and off screen?
Basically, before the auditions went out, he told me about the show because he already knew the executive producer and creator of the show, Norman Vance Jr. And he was talking to him about it, and he was like, yo, he's making this show. It sounds really good. And my sister was supposed to audition for it, but she doesn't want to do it. And I jokingly said, what? It sounds really good. Well, if she don't want to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah,
I
my
was
sister
joking.
doesn't act anymore.
And then a month later, like maybe a month and a half later, I got the audition for the exact show. And I was like, yo, this is the show. I got the show first. After we had already filmed the pilot in New Orleans in 2021, we had came back and we got picked up. And then that's when they started sending out auditions for the character of Derek. And I was telling him about the audition process. I'm like, man, they got all these people coming in to read for it. And the character sounds really funny, but like, there has to be the right person to play this character. Like the right person to play this character, man. And then he got the audition.
Yeah, then I got the audition. It was funny. I sent a DM of a film that I was working on at the time, and I had the link, and so I sent it to just people I was inspired by on Instagram, and I sent it to Mr. Norman, the executive producer. Called me up a week later. He's like, I think you could play this character. And so we auditioned together. Mm-hmm. We did our chemistry read together, and
which really wasn't that hard because we already know how each other's chemistry is when it comes to performing, and then also with comedy, with drama. But like we know each other's beats, and like if I go off on something, if I have a choice I want to make that wasn't rehearsed, I know he can just roll off of it, and vice versa. So it was a funny turn of events, but it worked out. So
obviously, you two play a married couple on the show, and the dynamic between the two of you is very different from the parents that you typically see on Disney Channel. I was wondering if you can talk a little bit about finding this relationship between the two of you and how the show kind of aims at more of an all ages audience than your typical Disney Channel show that points to a very specific age group.
No. It definitely. I know the lean. Give it to him, baby. No. It is really well written. I think it does cover all bases, age wise and age group wise. That's why they brought us veterans of the game, and we had wonderful chemistry from our first chemistry read. You know, it was our first time meeting each other, even though it was virtual because we were in the middle of the pandemic. This started about 3 years ago. Yeah. And it translates when you watch the show. You know, it translates in writing. You know, they allow us to make it our own. You know what I mean? But once we've kind of got the words and the script is on us, like, okay, stick to the words. They let us improv a little bit. But as parents, you know, as Disney parents, we're not the typical Disney parents. We're gonna be here in the long run.
Oh yeah.
But you know, we have fun. We're fun loving. We're not over the top. You know, it's not like every word is exaggerated. You know, there's moments we pick our spots when to turn it up, you know what I mean? Rev it up, turn it down a little bit, have our conversations with our kids, make sure we're heard and relatable. You know, we're not like old parents, but we're not exactly spring chickens, as they would say. You know what I mean? So we have to be, what is that word? Who is that new box easy? Like, you know, certain things we don't know, but that's, you know, us in real life, because I got to try to keep up with these people.
Exactly. I think everything Omar said is absolutely 100%. And I also think that there's something really fun about, you know, Cal and Deb kind of calling each other out on their stuff. They're competitive. I don't think it's so cookie cutter, so perfect. I love that the show allows this couple to show their flaws, you know, and I think that's the important part of being relatable. And I think that is a little bit different than maybe what people might be used to. It is really based in like realism. I mean, they're very competitive, and I love that because I mean, that's very real. A lot of couples are very competitive, but when it comes to the kids, Paris and London, helping them navigate through their issues and their problems, I think is really fun. And we both have two different perspectives sometimes, you know, Cal and Deb, on how to help them through those funny issues and situations with the girls, or, you know, with London and you know, a girl or something like that. So I think we do well with sort of piggybacking off of showcasing just the realism of it all. Right.
Yeah, I know you see the parents were like, well, our parents said no. It's more like mom said this. Oh, well, dad said it was okay. Well, you know how kids do when they play their parents against each other.
Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that.
I wanted to talk about the tone of the show, because a lot of Disney Channel sitcoms in particular feel very focused on a specific age group of kind of middle school grades. This one feels like it's taking a much broader approach and trying to bring in the whole family, as evidenced by just even the dynamic of the parents. So I was wondering if you can talk a little bit about your goal for how many age groups should be able to enjoy Saturdays.
You know what? It's funny because I think the demo originally when they told us is like 6 to 11. But I'm like, I hear you, but I think it will resonate with a much broader audience. And so what we wanted to do is try to do a show, which they allowed us to do. I mean, because there is a formula to trying to just hit that 6 to 11. But what they allowed us to do was kind of, you know, be real with our conversations in a comedic way, be open to like touch things that typically they wouldn't do on Disney Channel. And I'm not saying just about subject matter. I'm just saying like the voice of it, right? The feel of it. They allowed us not to like repeat some of the things that they had done in the past, right? And those are great things that they did in the past, but they were like, okay, no, we're coming to you to elevate what we want to do here. And so we appreciated that. So they allowed us the breath to do so.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Congratulations again. I'm excited for the world to discover Saturdays.
Oh,
Thank you.